Let's talk Mandalorian. Corey. I know that you've been watching the series, but you haven't seen
Not 7, but
Chapter
I've seen the
7. I think a lot of people probably have not seen Chapter 7 because it came out on a random day.
Yeah, literally last night, right?
Yeah, it came out on Wednesday morning, Tuesday night.
Yeah.
What day are we on today?
Yeah. Right?
Not Friday. But I think that because of that, obviously we'll keep it spoiler free. We're talking Mandalorian Chapter 7. I have gotten a lot of questions from fans about how much tie-in there is from Mandalorian to Rise of Skywalker. I just think it's interesting that people are thinking that going into this, that now Star Wars has broken out into doing live-action TV shows, so people are wondering that question, which I'm not going to answer, but it's an interesting question that people have.
Do you think that's an MCU thing?
Yes.
Maybe
like training people's brains to think that things are connected and they should be watching all that.
Possibly. It's just interesting that seemed to be the number one question I was getting is there crossover with Mandalorian, which I was like, interesting. Interesting that people are wondering that. In general, what did you guys think about this episode, Chapter 7, Mark?
I loved this episode. This episode is going to get people that were, including myself, that we felt that there was not a much plot movement, kind of placeholder episodes that I've kind of heard some of the discussion that I feel as well as like that, especially 2 episodes ago where it's like, I'm not sure. We get back to the driving plot, the through line of this series, and it did not disappoint. It's exactly what I wanted to see. I kind of figured we would get to this place, and there were some surprises within there with some characters, but man, I can't wait for the next episode, and this is one of the best. Deborah Chow, the director,
she's excellent,
who also did one of my favorites in episode 3, is directing the Obi-Wan series, and I think that should get everybody very excited.
And she's doing it in its entirety, right?
As of now, the reports are saying that she's directing the series, or at least 6 episodes I've heard, but
she's also
I can't say if it's confirmed or not.
First Asian woman to be working on Star Wars or directing Star Wars, I believe.
First woman.
Yeah, and
Period.
First woman and first person of Asian descent as well, maybe.
I would say all correct. Yeah, she is crushing.
Crazy.
She is crushing it. This is something to get excited about. This is one of those episodes that I really just enjoyed the hell of. It might be my favorite right now, next to 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
D, how are you feeling?
But yeah, I can't go there. Sorry, that would be a spoiler.
No.
I saw your no. That's why I stopped.
I couldn't not watch this episode without thinking of the movie we saw yesterday, so it was hard for me.
Really?
I feel similarly, and that is not a spoiler about whether or not there's a tie-in. I was in such a Star Wars-y place.
Yeah, and especially because of my feelings about this whole franchise in general and how it's changed so much from when I was a kid, which is fine. It's like people like it. I really don't like. Good for you. Oh, good for you, right? But in general, like I can also separate my feelings and say that's a good director. You know, I look forward to what this woman does in the future, and I'll watch anything as long as they don't make her, pander to the fans. But that's my thing. Yeah.
I thought that the episode, I was having a hard time separating it also, and I thought that the episode would have been better served had I not just seen Star Wars Episode 9. Only because that to me was so amazing and so epic. And then as much as I love television, I think that the episode was good. But coming back, I was like,
not as epic.
Different, but that's what it is. That's the point of the show.
I haven't seen the show, but you just reminded me of a very magical thing about Episode 9. The worlds were all dope, and I was really happy with the settings, and I was really happy with how lush and big it felt.
Agree.
And there were times in The Last Jedi it didn't feel... There were set pieces that felt huge in The Last Jedi, but this movie felt bigger, and I really enjoyed the scope of the set pieces and the environments without spoilers.
I agree.
Sorry to interrupt.
It looked really cool.
Sticking with Mandalorian for a second, I like this episode. We got a little more time with it. It was closer to the 40-minute mark than the 30-minute mark. And so I like spending time with these characters. I just still think Baby Yoda for the win, dude. Like, I don't think that this series would be even close to the same if that was a different species. Like,
no.
I agree
or
with
unless
that.
it was Babu Freak, because
Could
Pretty
be.
awesome. It's
Yeah.
like the
I
best
don't
part
think
of
I don't
episode
think
9.
anything compares to Baby Yoda.
The
Babu
implications of Baby Yoda opens up the mythology of what we know with not only the Force but that species.
I have so many questions.
I know, and this is the episode that we're finally not getting answers. I won't say that because also spoiler,
Wait,
but
we're learning more.
we're learning more. We're finally getting there, and it feels like it's really setting up. At least in my opinion, we are going to get a setup for season 2.
Baby Yoda is, for me, what I believe the Star Wars creed out to be, and that is the thing that I felt 9 didn't have. So for me, I'm enjoying Mandalorian because it gives me all of the hope for the future of Star Wars that I felt I lost. So I haven't seen 7 yet, but when I think about Star Wars right now, I'm like, but I see a new hope through the Mandalorian, because that to me is what Star Wars is. So through Baby Yoda, that expansion, that growth in the universe, that all the galaxy far, far away is growing through this friggin' dope creature.
Yeah.
So I love that character. I agree.
I also think that Chapter 7 was strong because it ties in to other episodes more so than we have seen previously.
Right.
Yes.
Especially because is that because every other episode has been more like, okay, I get what this episode was, but how does that connect to the other ones, or what is happening in the story in the future? And this did that more.
The show is getting a lot of slack for being so episodic
Yeah.
right now, which I think is silly because I think that's how they presented it. So if you don't like that, then it's not the show for you.
Right.
But I think that this one showed that it's not a procedural.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there is connection and
It
through
connected,
line.
came
like-
back around, and that's what I appreciated,
yeah,
and that's
right.
why I went back to think about those episodes and go, I see what they were doing. Some of the execution for me lacked, but we got this payoff in this episode, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, like I said. But I think that there is bigger things that are happening in this world that this episode really put its finger on that I think is going to make Star Wars fans very, very excited.